Welcome back, everybody, to live continuing coverage of the 2019 BNL Karting Series season for its second round here at Mariembourg at Karting d'Espagne International Raceway. We've now got 5 more races to go to conclude the halfway point of the season, and it's Micromax final number 4, 13 minutes plus an additional lap. This time around, Casper Schoemans will start from pole position. Alongside will be the number 86 of the Netherlands' very own Mika van der Pavert. Tommy van der Stroys will start from 3rd. Alongside him will be Thomas Strauven in the number 9. Max Swiderski and Matej Radenkovic will start on row number 3. Dries van Langendonk, Olivier Jonkers, Karel Stout, Tom van Langendonk and Mick Vandenberg will complete the 11-strong order. This time it will be 13 minutes plus an additional lap, as they now go on to the formation lap for the final time. So very soon we will find out who will win final number 4 this afternoon. Of course, Casper Schoemans, I tell you what, it was a very interesting Micromax battle earlier on. Max Swiderski was running with Casper Schoemans for the majority of the race until everyone started tripping over each other trying to squabble over the scraps. But Casper Schoemans managed to get away and make good his intentions for this weekend. So again, the running order is as follows when they go into the tram lines very shortly. Schoemans, Van der Pavert, Van der Stroys, Strauven, Swiderski, Radenkovic, Dries van Langendonk, Jonkers, Stout, Tom van Langendonk and Vandenberg complete the 11-strong order. They now head towards the penultimate corner on the circuit here, 1,388 metres. And it looks to be a very, very interesting scrap for the last time for Micromax before we see them again at Karting Genk, the home of champions, in early October, where the season concludes for the BNL Karting Series. So for those watching on the screens at home, it's Casper Schoemans on the left of your screen on pole. Mika van der Pavert on the 86 alongside. The Rotax engines roar to life in Micromax. Do we go lights out? Yes, we do. Tommy van der Stroys already up the inside of Van der Pavert, trying to go into second and makes the move stick. It's 3 abreast going into the entrance of turn number 2. And looks like Radenkovic has dropped down the order. Back up into 9th goes the number 99. Looks like Jonkers is making some good moves here. Swiderski up now to 5th position. But Tommy van der Stroys has absolutely nailed the start and has really gone toe-to-toe very early with Casper Schoemans. I think the number 54 is looking to get that initial advantage very, very quickly to get to the lead of the race and try and break the toe. It's not going to be easy because Schoemans has had the measure of multiple competitors, notwithstanding the likes of Max Swiderski. Now, Swiderski is in 5th. No, is he in 4th? No, he's gone up the inside. That's a good move from the number 19, who started in 5th position. So he's now up into 4th head of Thomas Strauven, and then you've got the number 15 of Dries van Langendonk. Meanwhile, Schoemans and Van der Stroys are going away into the distance, as Van der Stroys really now pressurising Casper Schoemans for the lead going through turn 3, as Mika van der Pavert runs a little bit wide coming out of the curbs on turn 3 into the left-hand sweeper at turn 4. That's a very quick corner indeed. These Micromax drivers are clearly showing no fear at all, as Swiderski goes up the inside of Van der Pavert into turn number 6 and now takes 3rd place. As now the real fireworks starting at the front of the field. That is Schoemans still fending off Van der Stroys. So Van der Stroys, by my calculations, I think hasn't got a win this weekend. So we'll see. Now he is coming good in this last race. He's really fired up and wants to get a win before we leave Mariembourg. And the gap between himself and Schoemans is now 0.166 of a second. So Schoemans trying to get that toe advantage that Van der Stroys will have, being in the slipstream over multiple points on this circuit away, as Strauven trying to go up the inside of Van der Pavert. and has got Dries Van Langendonk up behind for close company. So that is the battle for 4th position. Van Langendonk having other ideas than probably trying to go with. He's trying to go past Strauven, but this is allowing Olivier Jonkers to get in the mix here as well. So the number 16 from Belgium also trying to make his way through the field. Running order at the moment, it is still Shormans, Van der Stroys, Soderski, Van der Pijvert, Strauven, Dries Van Langendonk, Jonkers, Stout, Radenkovic, Tom Van Langendonk, and last but by no means least, Mick Vandenberg in the number 29. So the gap looks to possibly has extended slightly between 1st and 2nd position. Meanwhile, Dries Van Langendonk was looking up the inside of Thomas Strauven going into turn number 1. Had to go back in behind the number 9. Whereas Mika van der Pavert is very close to the rear bumper of Max Soderski. So Soderski at the moment holding on for 3rd position. So Strauven really now playing his best cards and goes up the inside of Mika van der Pavert. Through into turn number 6, makes the move stick. So now up into 4th position. So that is a really nice, clean overtake up the inside there. We've seen that a couple of times this weekend through the other categories. And now we've seen it in Micromax. But the battle at the front of the field, Shormans has got some advantage thus far ahead of Tommy van der Stroys in the 54. Van der Stroys trying to close the gap. It was 0.219 last time around. It is now 0.234. It's pretty much even Steven. The pendulum hasn't swung in one particular direction or another as Thomas Strauven really hustling the number 9 GKS Lemons Power Cart to get past Max Soderski and goes up the inside of the number 19. Mika van der Pavert tries to follow but can't get through in time. So Soderski now having to fight back to try and get back 3rd position. As that was a clear, convincing, well-timed move by Thomas Strauven. Mika van der Pavert also looking at what Soderski is doing. So the drivers will be reading the lines of those that are in front of them and trying to close the gap or so we'll find out whether Tommy van der Stroys has an answer for Casper Shormans, as there is a bit of a drag race. This is very close indeed. It was nearly rubbing wheels there, but Max Soderski puts it neatly up the inside of Thomas Strauven to get past through turn 1. That was very close indeed, but Strauven's back on the offensive. Soderski loses out to 3rd again. Now down to 4th. Mika van der Pavert had to really negotiate turn 4 very concisely there. And the reason being is that he was on the inside of Soderski heading into turn 4. The gap quickly closed and he's gone wide. That's allowed Jonkers, I think, to get past. Dries Van Langendonk also trying to get through on the inside of turn number 7. But hasn't appeared to Dries Van Langendonk that time. Maybe on the next lap, or maybe towards the end of this lap itself. Not quite yet. 2 leaders still breaking away. There's a gap of around 1.1 seconds between 2nd and 3rd. Gap now between Shormans and Van der Stroys is going down, but very incrementally. As Matej Radenkovic looking very feisty there as well. Mika van der Pavert about to lose another place there. That is Dries Van Langendonk. Radenkovic is behind, as is Tom Van Langendonk. Karel Stout also there in the mix. Radenkovic tries to go up the inside. Oh, this is getting very close indeed, going into turn 4. Radenkovic loses out another position there. So Radenkovic loses out to Tom Van Langendonk, I believe. Or is he a little bit further back? It could be Dries. So there's been quite a few changes up and down the order. The battle's still at the front. Is very much the case of who is going to get one up on the other when it comes to both Shormans in the lead. Van der Stroys still keeping there or thereabouts in 2nd position as they come onto the main straightaway here at Karting des Fagnes. A little bit closer is Van der Stroys on Shormans, as Soderski is on the back bumper of Strauven going through turn 1. They've had a great battle thus far, and they've broken away from the likes of Van der Pavert. Olivier Jonkers now up into, well, we've had a penalty issued, and it is down to Olivier Jonkers. He gets a 5-second penalty for pushing. So now that place is really not going to be, he's going to think, well, that's my track position. The stewards and the race control have decided otherwise. 5-second penalty for Olivier Jonkers for pushing. 5 minutes and 9 seconds to go, plus an additional lap. And Schoormans and Van der Stroys are getting away. They have been doing so for the last 2 or 3 minutes. So now they actually have clear air around them to battle amongst themselves. Meanwhile, Strauven and Sudersky have been split ever so slightly to about the tune of about a couple of kart lengths, as Van der Stroy's really hunting Schoormans down now. Goes to the inside line, takes the move nice and cleanly there, does the number 54 to take the lead after a few minutes, and that was just with about 4 minutes and 45 to go on the clock, plus an additional lap. Van der Stroys goes very defensive into turn 3, takes the tie to line. Schoorman gets a bit more of a run of momentum, heading on the drag down to turn 4. Schoormans could get the lead back, he does. As Sudersky really closing on the back bumper of Thomas Strauven for 3rd place. So as a result of the 5-second penalty, Olivier Jonkers has been demoted down to 9th position. This has allowed Mieke van der Pavert, Matej Radenkovic, Dries van Langendonk and Karel Stout to get past in terms of track position, even though Jonkers is ahead of them on the road at the moment. And it's definitely kicking off at the front. The top 4 are squabbling. There's 2 battles here. That was very close indeed. Was there the slightest amount of wheel touch there between Sudersky and Jonkers going, Strauven going through turn 1? Looks like there's more changes. Right, this is a great battle. The quintet down from 5th to 9th place. And that is being led by Olivier Jonkers. But Mieke van der Pavert is behind, as I said earlier. Olivier Jonkers now drops down into 9th position on the timings. As Van der Stroys, well, Sudersky, I don't know what's going on here, but Sudersky has dropped Strauven. Obviously, whether there was the slightest amount of contact, really couldn't make that out from my commentary position. As Schoormans and Van der Stroys are with each other. Sudersky is closing on them. And Schoormans and Van der Stroys did a 1 minute 2.9 and a 1 minute 2.8. Strauven did a 1 minute 1.7. Sudersky's got the fastest lap of this race, as Van der Stroys is going to try and close up on Schoormans. Does again through turn number 1. What's the run down to turn 2? Going to be light for the 54? Not quite yet. I think it's close, but not close enough. So Mieke van der Pavert is battling away with Olivier Jonkers. As Van der Stroys, whoa, my goodness, this is going to be very hairy going through turn 4. Van der Stroys has to back out of it. And this has allowed Max Sudersky to close even further up. And Max Sudersky wasn't as quick as the other 2, but that move that Tommy Van der Stroys, he carried the momentum round towards the outside of Casper Schoormans. And Schoormans went, well, I've got the inside line. Tommy's not going to get it. Here comes Max Sudersky on Tommy Van der Stroys. Less than 2 minutes plus an additional lap. 1 minute and 47 to go. Plus that additional final lap. So Sudersky really getting racy right now. And Van der Stroys has to watch the back bumper. Sudersky's going to go try and pull alongside. Goes up the inside of the 54 and takes 2nd position. Van der Stroys is really keeping with Sudersky, who goes ultra defensive into turn 2. This could make him run a little bit wide. Does a little bit, but Van der Stroys not able to capitalize yet. The time is fast ticking away as they go down this short blast down into the left-hander at turn 4. So Van der Stroys now has now got the boot on the other foot, so to speak, as Max is now going to have to fend off Tommy Van der Stroys for 2nd position. They go through turn 6, into the left at turn 7. So we've got less than 60 seconds plus an additional lap to go in this last race of the weekend for Micromax. Casper Schoormans has a gap now of just over 3.5 tenths of a second. It could be further extended because Van der Stroys and Sudersky have been battling away, and the gap looks to be a little bit further between Sadurski in second, as Van der Stoy's run on the back bumper in the number 19. Gap now is 0.435. So Schurman's now trying to get away. He knows that the two are battling behind, and it's going to be a case of pulling away as much as possible. Sadurski goes defensive again on Van der Stoy's out of turn 2, into turn 3. So Van der Stoy's really needs to get a motor on. This is going to be the penultimate lap of this race as the time is fast ticking away. So 3, 2, 1. That is it. Time is up. 13 minutes have expired. This is the penultimate lap of this final race for Micromax here this weekend at Karting des Fans. Casper Schurmans leading from pole position, had to fight Tommy Van der Stoy's very early on in this race, and the pair were swapping the lead. But Van der Stoy's now has just over a lap to re-secure second position. He started third on the grid. Sadurski, however, was fifth when we went lights out over 13 minutes ago. Goes very defensive into turn 1. Van der Stoy is going to try and use that momentum out of turn 1 into turn 2 and sends it up the inside. Oh, tags Sadurski. Sadurski sent 90 degrees to the right. As now that has allowed Thomas Stuyven to really... And he's pulling past. He's pulling past Van der Stoy's into turn 4. So Tommy Van der Stoy's went up the inside of Max Sadurski to try and get the move done into turn 2. Tagged Sadurski on the right rear, and it sent the 90 degrees to the right-hand side. And Thomas Stuyven is battling very, very intently indeed. Also, Mika van der Pavert is battling away with, it looks to be Dries van Langendonk there. So a lot of changes, a lot of action to conclude this final. It's the final lap of the race, and I tell you what, again, it's worked into the favour of one particular driver here today. Checkered flag is going to wave. He's got plenty of time to celebrate early. Casper Schurman wins here at Mariembourg for the second time. Thomas Stuyven takes second ahead of Tommy Van der Stoy's. And I tell you what, this is going to be very interesting indeed, because I'm now going to find out what's happened. Now, at the end of it all, now, that was very interesting driving behaviour from two individuals. Now, I know that both, there's not been an easy time between Tommy Van der Stoy's and also Max Sadurski. Now, was the move actually there? I'm not going to make that decision because that is down to the stewards post-race. So any results are provisional, pending any judiciary or technical matters. But Casper Schurmans does the double here on Sunday race day, day 2 of round 2 of the 2019 BNL Karting Series season. Casper Schurmans wins from Thomas Stuyven by 1.927 seconds. Tommy Van der Stoy takes third ahead of Mika van der Pavert. Dries van Langendonk takes 5th ahead of Karel Stout. Max Sadurski finishes in 7th with Matej Radenkovic. Olivier Jonkers demoted to 9th as a result of that 5-second penalty. Tom van Langendonk and Mick Vandenberg complete the 11 strong runners.